Hello everyone! Welcome to this week's live creative video where we are on the fly. We don't know what we're going to make until we get here. I'm going to wait to get a couple of people logged in first. Let's see. I'm just waiting to see you guys come through. Ta-da! Okay, we got a couple people tuning in. Hey Becky, how you doing? Okay, we got a couple people. There we go. I got my voice off. Oh, Debbie, hi honey, how are you? So it's been a crazy week. I have that quarterly that I finally listed. I booked the haul about a month ago, and then get some stuff going on here at the house, and I kind of held off until I had all of the designs nailed down what I wanted to do, and that event is both live and to go, and it is a week from Saturday, the live event, and then I'll mail out the to-go kits just after. All the kits will be done at the same time and they'll be ready to go. It's just a matter of me getting them in the mail and making sure that I can do what I promise, or promise what I do, you know what I mean. I like to overpromise and send out stuff early. I gotta show you, check it out. I'm die cutting. So I've been die cutting for the last class. All the die cutting is done for 2 of the classes. So I have 1 left, and they just fell on the table. I'm gonna actually move them out of the way, but I wanted to show you, I have been going ballistic on the die cutting machine today, and that's my whole job. I'm just gonna, actually, I am gonna move that over to my work area. So 1 second, let me get rid of these. All right, so Bonnie, you know, that happens to me a lot when I use my Safari. When I switch to Firefox, it stops freezing on me. Maybe that might help you, like if you change browsers. So last night we had our weekly Monday Zoom, and Bonnie's always there, which is really cool. Hi, Shirley from Nebraska. And after prepping some of these cards, I had a couple of pieces left over on the table that I didn't end up using, so I stamped some yellow rain boots. I want you to get a good look at this. You see how they're really slicker? Like they look like you can hear it. It's like a glassy kind of glaze. Well, what I did was, as I was sitting here chatting, I painted them with this, and this is a glue. It's a fine tip glue pen, and it's intended to glue stuff together. But if you put it on top of, you know, think wine glass or martini glass or rain boots, it makes this really cool, shiny surface. So I thought whatever we decide to make today, that maybe we would use these rain boots. They are in my absolute favorite new set. I'll show you those samples again once we get the camera flicked. Good God. So I'm going to flip the camera. And yeah, it's great stuff. And I like that you can use it to put like a glassy glaze on something. It does kind of get a little irritating if the pin gets clogged up. So you got to put the pin right back in right away. But a trick I can tell you is, if you have this stuff, right, and you open the black part, if it's stuck and you can't get the pin back in because it's jamming up, take a push pin, stick it in the wrong way, and, you know, work it and pull, and that will really help. Okay, so if you haven't used it yet, oh, this is a brand new set, I know. And you know, it's very common, like it's very, things we've seen before. We've had rain boots before, and for that reason, I almost didn't get it, and I'm so glad I did. It's probably my favorite thing in the new catalog. Somebody asked me on Zoom last night, and everybody's like, oh, I like the paper with the scenes, and I like this, and I'm like, I am stuck on these rain boots and flowers. I'll show you that section of the quarterly. There are 3 classes in that quarterly. One is using the dahlias, and yeah, they're all over the room, and I'm prepping them, but I gotta show you. Well, I'll show you the kit, And then we'll go on the fly because I have a sketch here that I haven't done yet. And I need to make a card for it. So I'll do that and then we'll see where it goes because you never know what happens on a Tuesday. We just go on the fly. And of course, there's construction at my house. And we had new washers delivered because our washers died. We had them since 2011, so understandable. But there's just a lot going on here today. So if you hear any weird noises in the background, it's probably the construction people. Just ignore them. Kenny's been known to sing Jingle Bells on the other side of the wall here in the garage. But okay, so that's the sketch I want to go with. And here's my slick boots. Aren't they cool? I was able to skip the belt buckle and the line going across, so it only colored where the ink hit the stamp and made them shiny. Isn't that fun? Oh, shine on, baby, shine on. And when I'm done with the card, I may fill in again because there were little sections where there was a dip, but I was really good not to get any bubbles. This stuff, you really don't want to shake it. And when you flip it over, I try not to agitate it too much because you don't want the bubbles to be in your final design, unless of course you're doing champagne, then shake away. All right, let me see. I think I lost the feed on my laptop. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so these are my shiny little boots, and I'll show you, again, this quarterly is coming up. In this class, you're getting a full pack of the ephemera shapes and a package of pearls, but this one didn't use either, which is really funny. But look at all the Wink of Stella on that. Isn't that pretty? Live Life in Full Bloom. I love these. They really were wonderful to put together. And like I said, if you order the kit, I do all your die cutting and all the white pieces are done. I still have embossing to do and all of that too, but it's very fun. I just love these. And although we've had sets that are similar to this in the past, this is huge. Like, it's really big compared to what we had before, and I kind of like sets that do that. They take up a lot of space as the focal point on your card, and it really makes a huge difference. I'm in love with these. This one might be my favorite. And I went with purple rain boots over the yellow rain boots, but you can see that they would work perfect. Same layout, same idea, right? Okay. So let's look at the sketch. It looks like a slimline, and I was looking for, and maybe one of you know, I was looking for the slimline envelopes to figure out what my card base would need to be if I were to make a slimline card like this one. So we had those slimline envelopes in the catalog. Debbie, I don't know why you're giving up. I'm sorry, honey. All right, let me grab the catalog. So whenever I don't know where something is, I flip to the back of the book. And here we go. So I flip to the back of the book to find all the stuff. So the slimline envelopes are shown on page 53. This is nice because I can see everything kind of in a spotlight and find out where it goes. So I'm going to go to 53 from there. And let's see. Slimline dies. Slimline bundle. Geez, anybody see the envelopes? Slimline envelopes. So it says that the slimline envelopes are 3 7/8 by 8 7/8. So I'm going to say that our finished card, and I always put the big number first, so forgive me, 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. And if it's folded in half the long way, we'd have to make a piece that was 7 1/2 to score it at 3 3/4. Are you with me? So I'm just trying to get a card base that would be good for these envelopes, and I want to use the rain boots. But it's interesting because that this sample that showed up on page 44, let's flip there, uses that slimline layout. Okay, So on this card, and this is kind of just where my brain is going, I'd really like to use the rain boots as the focal point. And I do like that doily in the background. So I have some of these. These are the Heart and Home doilies. It really doesn't matter which color I take. So maybe I don't know. They're all cool. I'll take a gray one. And, oh, gray kind of fits nicely with that, doesn't it? Look. Woohoo. All right. So then I'm going to keep this because we'll still have to cut the base and everything when we figure out what color we're going to go with. But I was thinking rain boots and this rainbow paper from Celebration. So I don't know. I'm going to pull a couple of designs out and then I'm going to let you guys pick. We're looking for something. You see how it's got the dots in the background? We're going to look for something to layer on our Slimline card. I like this as a background, so we'll call that option 1. Let's see. Oh, wow. Granny Apple Green raindrops. Oh, we'll call it Acid Rain. Number 2 is Acid Rain. That's funny. You can't make this stuff up. All right, and... ooh, it's raining hearts. I like that too. Stripes, not so much. I really was going for something that looked kind of like raindrops, but these are all sunshine and rainbows. But rainbows, rain boots are would be more effective in the rain, right? So let's go with those 3. Number 1 is the clouds. Number 2, I'm just doubling back to make sure there's nothing on the back that looks like rain to me. Oh, wait. There's another one. All right. So we got number 1 is the clouds. Number 2 is the acid rain. Number 3 is falling hearts. And then you have these like little, I don't know if they're like little mud drops, but they look like big drops of rain. So you guys can vote 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I'll wait. Bonnie's put her in for the clouds. And while you guys are doing that, I'll grab the paper cutter. And then we'll figure out what card base color should be based on what we pick. So, number 1, number 4. Let's see. 4. We have a couple of votes for number 1 or number 4. So let's get rid of acid rain and the hearts, and we'll divvy it down to this, knowing that our rain boots were actually stamped on the same color, which is kind of cool. This is So Saffron, and we stamped it with crushed curry before adding this liquid glue stuff to the top to make the boots shiny. So that's 4. That's number 1. And there's still going to be some break in the action. We'll need to figure out a layer for that one in the middle. Okay, I'm still waiting. 1, 4, 1, 4. Oh boy. 4, 1. We're tied. All right. It looks like they are coming through as number 1. So we'll make the card with that. The glue, good question, is called the Fine Tip Glue Pen. And the item number is here. It is 138309. Thank you, TV, for making that number so big. I'm going to grab, I think, the same color as the boots for the card base. So we said that based on the Slimline envelopes, we need to cut our card base down. I grabbed the scoreboard instead of the cutter. And that our cardstock needs to be 8 3/4 by 7 1/2. So let's put the little arm out here. And we'll do the 7.5 inch side first, and I'm cutting that off the long side because it only goes to 8.5, right? So 7.5, I hope I did that right, by 8 3/4, hopefully my math is solid. If not, we'll just trim it. And then we'll score it down at 3 3/4. I hope I did that right. It seems like it's wrong. Oh, no, I see. We score the short side at 3 3/4. Did I do that right? I don't know. I'll let you know in a minute. Oh, look at that. Ta-da. Okay, so we have a Slimline card. Okay, so there's... I got all jammed up there for a second, but I did do it right. So that is 7.5 by 8 3/4, and then you score this 7.5 inch side at 3 3/4, and that's what makes this big long card. Like you see my hand up against it. When you see it in the catalog, it's kind of I don't know, not misleading, but I didn't realize it was that big, so that's kind of cool. So for this piece, I guess the easiest thing to do would be to just cut it at 3 3/4, right? So that it's the same size as the card front, like the sketch. And then we can go to the shape spin to see if we can find something that will go as that cross section to follow along with our sketch. So here's, trying to keep the sketch in the frame too. So here's that piece. Well, I guess it's a little bit longer there, but we're working with 6 by 6 paper. So we're just gonna go with what we've got. And we can adhere this down. I just love this paper. We have a new cloud punch, and the cloud punch fits this cloud perfectly. Here, I actually did a sample with it. Hang on. I had a couple samples with it, but this one is my favorite. So to give you an idea, you can punch the clouds out, and I just used some of the other patterns on this one to finish off that card. But I like that there'll be a piece here if I cut that I can go in with the punch and punch out one of those clouds and save it for another project. But for now, we'll go with this. Just go with it. Very tall. Okay. And I don't know if I want the white side. I'm kind of digging the gray because the rain boots color. But let's look at the card that we're casing. There's another cross-section piece here. Let me get the die cut bin. Whenever I prep a class, I always have like these leftover pieces and die cuts, and sometimes they're stamped, but whatever I have, I toss in the bag. This one, I think, retired with the Christmas book, so I'll get rid of that. I don't want to make a card with it and have you fall in love with it and have anybody mad at me. Let's see. There's a So Saffron piece in here. That's interesting. Oh, looks like it got a little bit ripped. That happens from time to time. My paper snips. I'll have to grab some. So, a lot of times when I'm die cutting something, I'll cut 2 at a time. And if for some reason it wasn't on the edge right, or maybe, I don't know, but this one didn't come out right, so we threw it in the spare parts bin. I can still use it. I just have to take my time and cut off all that extra fluff. If you're hearing that background noise, that's just the construction guys. Please ignore. Oh, and look, I got this little bitty punch shape. We have a circle. Let's do this. This one is from the Tasteful Textures dies. And I'm thinking that this is going to fit side to side. And then in the sketch, they cut the doily in half and they put it off the top, right? And I really like this. I think I'm gonna take this die cut piece and cut it down before I stick it. What's the measurement of the yellow piece? It's this measurement here, my friend. 8 3/4 by 7 1/2. And then we scored it at 3 3/4. So I am cutting this die cut piece down because it was nice and big. And when I cut it on both sides, I can cut it down to 3 3/4 before I even put it on my project. And yeah, I cut the scallops off, but I'll save those. You never know, maybe we'll use them for something. And now we can come in and adhere this down. Now I'm looking at this sketch and it looks like the person cut it even smaller than 3 3/4. There's like a little gap on both sides, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cut it down to one of the scallops, I think. So I'm on my paper cutter and I'm kind of ignoring the measurement at this point. It's 3 1/2. So there. But what I was really checking to see is if I was on my scallop, and now the scallops on both sides match. And it looks a little bit smaller, just like our sketch. So there's that. And then before we adhere that down, the doily went on. But again, with those rain boots, I put the adhesive on the wrong side. That was special. I can cut this doily in half. This time I'll get the adhesive on the side that's facing up so I can stick it this way. And I am gonna do it just like the sketch and not do the full piece again. I'm gonna do like a little less. So I just cut it in half. And then we can stick this on our focal point here. Now, I don't even know, I might even want another doily because what did I do with the rain boots? That's a thing. I want these guys to pop and there's not enough color back there for my liking. So I just want to see what it looks like if I grab another one. Didn't I just open a pack? Oh yeah, they're right there. And I like the gray back there. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it kind of looks goofy. All right, so we're not gonna do that, that's fair. This was 3 1/2, right? So I'm gonna grab a piece of gray because I think it needs it. And I don't see any in my cutoffs. I have quite a few cutoffs, my goodness. But they really come in handy when I'm live because I don't necessarily have to stop and cut everything, but it definitely needs a little something. So you remember we cut this down to 3 1/2. So we're gonna do the same thing. We'll cut this to 3 1/2 again. And I don't know, like, it's like giving a haircut. I don't want to cut too much and then decide that I want a bigger piece. So I'm gonna cut 2 1/2 and we can always cut it again if we want it to be smaller. So this is 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. It's gonna go edge to edge with the yellow. Oh, I kind of like that because it's inside the scallops, but you get to see the dots going across the stitched edge. So I'm cool with that. So we'll put this on top. And I did cut it the same length, which was 3 1/2. Oh, maybe not. Well, then I'll give it a tiny little border all the way around. There it goes. Okay. It's looking very regal for a rain boots card, but it's kind of cute. So I remember seeing a sentiment on the table from that class, and this is the one, the Live Life in Full Bloom, but maybe that's not the right sentiment. Hang on. No, I'm gonna get the other one. So there's a, this is the one that I was thinking for every storm that comes also ends. I think I like that one. So, I would have to find it. Prep day is always a little scary because it could be anywhere on my table here. Oh, there it is. I see it now. And I think we need a basic gray ink pad. And it's out because I was designing. So, oh, I know where it is. It was in here. So basic gray. And now I think, what do you think we take one of these leftover pieces and make a banner with it? Okay, so how about, let's try a 1/2 inch, and if it stinks, we'll go again. But a 1/2 inch, you can go either way on the 1/2 inch because there's a ruler on both sides of this paper cutter. I love it. But we'll try a 1/2 inch, and just for giggles, I'll cut like a 3/4. And I think that's about 1 inch. Ooh, look at that, nice and crooked. All right, let's go again. I don't like that. It happens. So we have a 1/2 or 3/4. Actually, this looks like 1 inch to me. So we have all the strips to pick from. I'm gonna start with the 1/2 inch though. I think that might be enough. You lost the volume. If someone wants to type to Ella, sometimes in the video, the volume is controlled on your phone, and there's like a little button when you scroll inside the video. Darn technology gets me every time. I'm gonna go here. And let's protect the other cards on the table. And then maybe we'll make this into a banner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut myself a little slack here. And then I'm gonna cut up to it. And do that. So same thing here. So if you ever like want to make a banner and you don't have the punch in front of you, you can just cut to the middle and then cut to where you cut. And that'll make a quick and easy V at the end of your banner. And then I'm gonna take this and do a little fun with it. I like to make a mountain, and now I'm making my molehills. So I make the hump in the middle, and so now I've got like a little rolling river here. And that was with the 1/2 inch piece that we cut. And I love it, except I don't like the yellow on yellow again. Driving me nuts here. Okay, let me see if I can come up with a solution for that. Not to mention, I think I'd like a little something there. I just want to potentially ruin my project here. Hang on. I just want to see if this would be sufficient as tone on tone. After making that big long banner, here we go. I kind of like it. So do you like the tone on tone, or do you think that we should do the banner? I'm gonna leave that for a second, and I'm gonna go get some ribbon. How about down below the clouds? Okay. So forgive me for grabbing something that's potentially not available to be ordered right this second, but it was so very popular with demonstrators that it became, yeah, I'm with you, the tone on tone. All right, thanks guys. We'll ditch the ditch the banner. Yeah, it's cleaner, isn't it? But I was thinking, wouldn't this be nice? Maybe it's too thick. Yeah, it looks a little thick. I know that this was super popular, and the minute it went available to order, now it's not available, but I'm sure we'll get it back in. But I just want to see what it's going to look like. It's like too fuzzy. Okay, I need a different ribbon. That's funny. So I have, here I have the Flowers for Every Season, which is still thick, but it's a little bit finer. It's almost like looking at linen fabric. So we would do the Z with this. Or, so there's the first thought. Oh yeah, no, I like that a lot. Okay, so there's the Z there. Or we can do it with the crinkle seam binding. I don't know if you guys have a problem with static where you live, but the seam binding tends to get really fuzzy. Like, it sticks to everything. So what I do is I grab a dryer sheet, and before I even cut it, I pull it through a dryer sheet, and that static goes away. So before I wanted to even touch it. So we can do it with this one too. So this is nice and thin. The other one was nice, but it was kind of like a sweater. And it is sweater weather, but not in April like that, you know. This is the seam binding, or this is the Flowers for Every Season. So we'll call this number 1 or this number 2. What do you guys think? Below, the banner on the Cloud DSP is like that, Val. So, yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I like number 1. Okay. All right, so let's go back and we'll put a little bit of adhesive, and to get the idea of where our adhesive should sit, I'll put the rain boot there for a second. And then we'll do that Z. So I like to do it kind of in line. So you go 1, you make a loop, 2, make a loop, 3, and then give it a trim. And then this we can put up, and I should have did it over a little more, so here. It's not quite in the middle. I think I prefer it in the middle. All right, let's grab some dimensionals for this boot. And again, I love the idea of the shiny boot thing. So, here we go. Oh, Ella, you came in after. I'm sorry. It was two people said number 1 and 2 people said number 2 at the end, but I didn't see it until just now. All right, so I put a ton of dimensionals on the back, but I don't have to peel them all off. Whatever's off will be fine. I got the corners. And we've got, I want that to show a little bit different. I want it to be a little more loopy right there. And I'm too low. I want to make sure that I'm not covering that sentiment. Totally different, huh? Slimline card. And again, that's the measurement. And so it was 7.5 by 8 3/4, and then I scored the 7.5 inch side at 3 3/4. Pretty darn cool. And this won't be part of the quarterly. This is just another example with this set that I can't seem to put down. I will show you the 4 examples again, and there are actually 12 different projects in that class. It will be here at Harmony Hall in Drake-It for those who would like to venture out, and for those who would rather take it, there is a to-go option at home. It doesn't come with the stamps or the ink, but it does come with all the ribbon, die-cut paper. I embossed all of these layers, so like everything is ultra prepped for you, so you can just stamp your samples and have fun. So what you would need is the stamp sets and the ink, and I listed all of that in the listing. Oh my gosh, I hope you're catching the sparkle on that. It makes me so happy. And the pictures just don't do them justice. They're so much better in person. That's got Wink of Stella all over it. You'll need a Wink of Stella. And the white gel pen, oh my gosh, the white chalk pen. If you didn't have a chalk pen, you could use white craft ink and a blender pen, and that would work as well. So, all right. What did you put on the boots to make them shiny? Oh, I can tell you came in at the end because we did that right at the very beginning. It's the fine tip glue pen, and that's the item number. It was 138309. So, and it's pretty cool that it does that. I just kind of had to make a nice thin coat, avoid bubbles, and like I said, it wasn't perfect last night. So now that the card is made, I think what I'm gonna do, I'll put something here, because if it's off balance, like if the card's open, this stuff will run all over the place. Whoop. Let me see here. Of course, now I can't open it. It's goofy. That's so strange. All right, hang on. I must have glued it shut last night. So if this happens, you need like a wrench or something, and I don't have one in the studio. Hey, honey. I'll have to get the Stampin' Man on that. He hooks me up when stuff breaks. Darn. Of course I'm live, but I was playing with it last night, so that makes sense why I'm glued together. But you know what? I wonder if it'll still come out. Nope, it's not having it, so I don't know what I did. I'll have to fix it after. But like I said, with these, there's a hack. If you have a problem and you have a glue bottle that the glue isn't coming out, put a push pin in the wrong way and get it in there as you, and then I run water through it, and then it usually is fine. But anyway, I'll get that going, and I'll probably put one more coat on there because there's just a little bit of a divot right there, but you can see it's pretty awesome. I was able to skip the belt buckle and the line going across. It's a pretty cool technique. So I think that's everything for this week. You guys have any more questions? Yeah, you could use crystal effects. The crystal effects we have now has glitter in it, so you could even make it a little sparkly. I bet that would be awesome. So, yeah, but I like it just because it makes it shiny, and I didn't want glitter on this cast. It's so different for me. But my first Slimline card, I haven't made one of these, so that was really fun. Thanks, guys, and thanks for helping me pick all of the pieces. Really cool. So we'll see you guys next week at 3 o'clock, probably for a coffee break. And if you have any questions or if you need anything, let me know. If those of you who order from me need a catalog and you didn't get one for some reason, be sure to hit me up. I mailed out a couple today. And yeah, I hope you have a great week. Thanks, guys.